Good morning to all. Today I am going to discuss about the female reproductive system of human beings. First, we know what are the parts of the female reproductive system. Look at this picture. This is the front view of a female reproductive system. What are the parts of the female reproductive system? Now, a pair of ovaries, a pair of oviducts, single uterus, vagina, vulva, and accessory glands. Those accessory glands are called Bartholin's glands or greater vestibular glands. So first, we discuss about ovaries. We know that ovaries are two in number and almond in shape. Each ovary measures about 1.5 to 3 cm in length and weighs about 4 grams. Each ovary is held in position within peritoneal cavity by several ligaments or connective tissues. The ovarian ligament anchors the ovary medially to the uterus. The suspensory ligament anchors it laterally to the pelvic wall, and mesothelium suspends it in between. So we know that the two ovaries are almond in shape. Each ovary is also attached to the broad ligament of uterus by a mesentery called mesothelium. Okay. Look at this picture. This is the anatomical study of ovary. Anatomical study of ovary. We take its transverse section. This is the TS of ovary. Anatomically, the ovary is differentiated into 4 parts. So what are the parts? Germinal epithelium. Here, the labeling germinal epithelium, the outermost lining of ovary, and below it, tunica albuginea, that is the fibrous tissue, and another part, that is the cortex, and the innermost part is the medulla. This is called ovarian cortex. This portion is called ovarian cortex, and this portion is called ovarian medulla. The outer lining of ovary is formed of germinal epithelium, and the germinal epithelium consists of primary germ cells or primordial germ cells which are diploid, and those cells divide to form ovum or egg by a process known as oogenesis. That is discussed in later class. Today we know that germinal epithelium that consists of primary germ cells or primordial germ cells which are diploid. Each primary germ cell divides mitotically. Each primary germ cell divides mitotically to form a number of egg mother cells, or oogonia, and also follicle cells. These are the squamous follicle cells. Each egg mother cell or oogonium is surrounded by a number of follicle cells to form primary follicle or egg nest. Look at this diagram. These are the primary follicles. Each primary follicle contains an egg mother cell or ovary. At birth, the ovaries contain an estimated total of 2 to 4 million oogonia or egg mother cells. No more oogonia are formed and added after birth. Dear students, please note that 2 to 4 million oogonia are present initially, which divide by mitosis, forming primary oocytes. But by the time of puberty, only 60,000 to 80,000 primary follicles are left in each ovary. Look at this diagram. These are the primary follicles. We know that about 2 to 4 million oogonia are present initially, or these are formed at birth, but no more oogonia are formed and added after birth. These egg mother cells or oogonia are surrounded by follicle cells to constitute primary follicles. From birth up to puberty, there is no formation of the primary follicles. But at that time, a number of primary follicles are degenerated, and those degenerated primary follicles are called as atretic follicles. And the process is known as follicular atresia. From birth up to puberty, more number of primary follicles are degenerated, and the degenerated primary follicles are called as atretic follicles, and the process is known as follicular atresia. When a girl attains its maturity or puberty, there is maturation of primary follicles. Before we discussed that about 60,000 to 80,000 primary follicles are left in each ovary after attainment of reproductive life. From puberty, there is the maturation of primary follicles, and those primary follicles are matured by the influence of a hormone called follicle stimulating hormone, which is secreted from pituitary gland. And after maturation, the primary follicles are called as mature Graafian follicle. Look at this diagram. This is the mature Graafian follicle. This is the sequence, by developing sequence of primary follicles. This is the primary follicle. As its growth proceeds, it becomes secondary follicle, then a tertiary follicle, then mature Graafian follicle. Primary follicle contains egg mother cell or oogonium. As the primary follicle grows into a mature Graafian follicle, inside it, the egg mother cell or oogonium also develops into secondary oocyte. Look at this diagram. At the time of ovulation, what is ovulation? Ovulation means the rupture of a Graafian follicle and release of an egg or ovum. Actually, here, look at this diagram. Here, release of a secondary oocyte. Primary follicle contains egg mother cell or oogonium. Then the egg mother cell or oogonium becomes primary oocyte. Then it becomes secondary oocyte. The secondary oocyte then develops into ovum or mature egg. Then look at this diagram. At the time of ovulation, at the time of rupture of a Graafian follicle, release of a secondary oocyte. So here the egg or ovum at the immature state. Ovulation that occurs by the influence of LH secreted from pituitary gland, or a luteinizing hormone secreted from pituitary gland. After ovulation, the remaining part, that is called corpus hemorrhagicum. Corpus hemorrhagicum, that is the ruptured Graafian follicle with clotted blood. Ruptured Graafian follicle with clotted blood. This is called corpus hemorrhagicum. After ovulation, the remaining parts of Graafian follicle changes into an endocrine structure called corpus luteum. Look at this diagram. This is the corpus luteum, which is formed of lutein cells, the cells which are arranged in a radial fashion. These cells secrete progesterone hormone. Progesterone is the female sex hormone produced by the lutein cells. Another female sex hormone called estrogen, that is also produced by corpus luteum along with the follicle cells. If the released egg or ovum is not fertilized, corpus luteum degenerates into a white mass that is called corpus albicans. पिलाने मन रखो ये जो Graafian follicle rupture होइकरे जो सेकेंड oocyte बा डेवलपिंग ओवम की जो रिलीज होला, जदि सही सेकेंड oocyte बा डेवलपिंग ओवम जदि फर्टिलाइज न होई परिबो, तले एपटे हमरो Graafian follicle बा ruptured Graafian follicle तो चेंज होइकरे corpus luteum structure देइछे, एटा फाइनली डीजेनरेट होइछे. And the degenerated structure is called corpus albicans. Now the question arises, if the egg is fertilized, the egg fertilized होचे, the structure called corpus luteum is not degenerated and it secretes progesterone hormone. Progesterone, that is the pregnancy hormone, that is for continuation of the pregnancy and also implantation of the embryo. Okay. This is the mature Graafian follicle. Look at this diagram. This is the mature Graafian follicle. This mature Graafian follicle contains a fluid-filled cavity. The cavity is called the antrum or follicular cavity, which is not empty. It is filled with the fluid. The fluid is called as a liquor folliculi. Liquor folliculi. Liquor folliculi, that is a fluid which fills the antrum or follicular cavity of Graafian follicle. Each Graafian follicle is covered by two coverings, that is the outer theca external and the inner theca internal. These two layers separated from antrum by membrana granulosa. These are the granulosa cells which separate the coverings of Graafian follicle from antrum. Okay. Each Graafian follicle that is measured about 0.4 to 23 mm, which is characterized by a cavity containing fluid which is called follicular fluid or liquor folliculi. Look at this diagram. the granulosa cells that form a stalk with secondary oocyte. This is the secondary oocyte. The coverings of secondary oocyte, that is the zona pellucida, and below zona pellucida another membrane is present called vitelline membrane. This is the secondary oocyte or developing egg or ovum inside the mature radian follicle. These granulosa cells that form a stalk, the stalk is known as the pumilus operans. Okay, so this is about ovary. Next part of a female reproductive system, that is oviduct. Okay, before we discuss about oviduct, first we know ovary perform dual function. Ovary performs dual function, that is reproductive function and endocrine function. The reproductive function, that is already discussed, and the endocrine function, that is the hormones estrogen, progesterone and relaxin, which are secreted from ovary, mostly secreted from corpus luteum. Estrogen, that is the female sex hormone, which helps in the growth or development of female genital or reproductive organs. Along with it helps in the development of secondary sexual characters. So what are the secondary sexual characters in female? Now in case of female, the secondary sexual characters are development or growth of breast or mammary gland, formation of hairs on axillae and also on pubic region. So these are the secondary sexual characters by the influence of estrogen. These secondary sexual characters starts from puberty. When a girl attains its puberty, by the influence of estrogen, formation of secondary sexual characters. We previously known that in case of a girl, the age about 11 to 13, that is the attainment of a reproductive life or a sexual life or a puberty. The next hormone called progesterone, also secreted from corpus luteum, that is the pregnancy hormone, which helps in the implantation of embryo and also continuation of pregnancy. Another hormone, relaxin, also secreted from corpus luteum. According to its function, it is named as relaxin because it relaxes the skeletal system, mostly the pelvic girdle, at the time of parturition or childbirth for a normal delivery of young ones. Okay. Then the next part of female reproductive system, that is oviduct or fallopian tube. Well, how many oviducts or fallopian tubes? There are 2 oviducts or fallopian tubes. Each measures about 12 centimeter in length and extending from ovary up to uterus. Look at this diagram. This is the uterus. This is the oviduct. This is the oviduct that extends from ovary up to uterus. Each oviduct or fallopian tube, which is differentiated into 3 parts, that is the infundibulum, ampulla and the isthmus. Look at this diagram. The free proximal end, of oviduct that dilates to form a funnel-like structure, and the funnel-like structure that is called the infundibulum, which bears a number of finger-like projections like this. These are the finger-like projections which are formed at the proximal end of oviduct. These finger-like projections are called as fimbriae. Fimbriae. These are the finger-like projections at the proximal end of oviduct or fallopian tube, which surround an opening called ostium. So, what is the role of fimbriae? Now, at the time of ovulation, when ovulation takes place, we know that ovulation takes place on the surface of ovary, and the released secondary oocyte that is picked up by the fimbriae of oviduct or fallopian tube. Look at this diagram. Here, ovulation takes place, and the released ovary that is picked up by fimbriae, and then the secondary oocyte or developing ovum that enters into oviduct or fallopian tube through ostium. Ostium is an opening which is surrounded by fimbriae. So, what is the role or function of oviduct or fallopian tube? Mainly the fertilization, that the union of sperm and ovum takes place in oviduct or fallopian tube. Mainly, fertilization takes place in the ampullary ischemic region. Ampullary ischemic region of oviduct or fallopian tube. Okay. Then the next part of a female reproductive system called uterus. Look at this diagram. This is the uterus. It is a hollow and muscular organ. Uterus is a hollow and muscular organ because it contains a cavity for the growth or development of the baby. Its wall is formed of muscles, that is the smooth muscles. So it is a hollow and muscular organ, and it measures about 7.5 centimeter long and 5 centimeter in width. It is distinguished into three parts. The upper part is called fundus. It is called fundus. Middle part is called body or corpus, and the lower part is called cervix. Uterus is divided or distinguished into three parts: the upper part fundus, middle part body, and the lower part is the cervix. Here, the labeling called cervical canal is the canal inside the cervix. Look at this diagram. Cervix or the cervical canal that communicates to the upper part of the uterus through internal orifice, and the cervical canal also communicates to vagina through external orifice. This is the internal orifice. Orifice means aperture or opening. This is the external orifice. The wall of uterus that is formed of three layers. The innermost called endometrium. Endometrium is the innermost layer of uterus. The middle called myometrium, and the outermost, that the parietal peritoneum or perimetrium. Endometrium, that is the innermost layer of uterus, which provides surface for implantation of embryo. By the influence of progesterone hormone. Look at this diagram. Ovulation or rupture of Graafian follicle and release of a secondary oocyte or developing ovum, which occurs on the surface of ovary. The released ovary that is picked up by fimbriae of oviduct, and then the ovum or developing ovum or secondary oocyte enters into oviduct or fallopian tube, where fertilization takes place by the help of sperm, and the fertilized egg or ovum later enters into the uterus for further growth or further development. The endometrium of uterine wall provides surface for implantation of developing embryo. Okay. Endometrium is a highly vascular. The wall is formed of blood vessels. The wall contains blood vessels, while the development of embryo occurs within the uterus. The uterine wall supplies nutrients and oxygen to the growing embryo and removes carbon dioxide and waste materials from it. Okay. The next part of the female reproductive system, that is the vagina. Vagina, it is also called a copulating chamber in female. While now it receives the penis of a male at the time of coitus or sexual intercourse or copulation. So it is called copulating chamber, and it measures about 10 centimeter in adult. Look at this diagram. This is the opening of vagina, that is called vaginal orifice. Vagina communicates to exterior through an opening, that is called vaginal orifice. In case of virgin girls, so in case of immature girls, and also before sex, the opening of vagina or vaginal orifice, that is covered by a membrane called hymen. It is covered by a membrane called hymen. Okay. The next part of female reproductive system, that is vulva. Vulva, that is the external genitalia. Look at this diagram. This is the vulva or external genitalia, which is formed of labia majora, labia minora, clitoris, and some openings of female reproductive system. Look at this diagram. This opening, that is called anus, which is the opening of digestive tube. This is called orifice of vagina or vaginal orifice, that is the opening of vagina or female reproductive system. And above it, presence of another opening, that is the orifice of urethra. Urethra or urethral orifice or urethral aperture, which is present above the orifice of vagina for the release of urine. In previous class, we discussed that there is a union of two organ systems in male sex, that is the urethral system or excretory system and reproductive system or genital system. But here, in case of female sex, there is no union of male and female. There is no union of urethral system or excretory system and reproductive system. Here, two separate openings. Okay. Labia majora. These are larger in size and two lip-like muscular cords. Two lip-like muscular cords, larger in size, called labia majora. And in between it, another two lip-like muscular cords smaller than labia majora, called labia minora. At the junction of labia minora, an erectile tissue is present called clitoris. Clitoris, this is an erectile tissue which is homologous to penis of male. At the time of orgasm or sexual excitement, there is erection of clitoris which is homologous to penis of male. Mons pubis, this is the area, that is the deposition of fat and also presence of hairs. Here, look at this diagram. This is a connection, that is called perineum, which forms a connection between a vaginal orifice and anus. Here a connection. This is a tissue connection. These are the parts. Next, we will discuss the associated glands. The associated glands of the female reproductive system. So, what are the associated glands? Bartholin's glands. The associated glands called Bartholin's glands or greater vestibular glands, and mammary glands or breasts. Bartholin's glands, these are two bean-shaped glands present on either side of vaginal orifice. Look at the diagram. Vaginal orifice jar ଦୁଇ ପଟେ ଆମେ ପାଇବା କ'ଣ ନା two bean shape ର glands called Bartholin's glands. These glands secrete lubricating fluid which lubricates the wall of the vagina at the time of coitus or sexual intercourse. Another gland, that is mammary glands or breasts. These are two in number. These are the modified sweat glands. They are also present in male sex, but in a rudimentary form. Because in case of male sex, these are vestigia or non-functional. Each breast has a broad multiporous tip that is called a nipple for release of the milk. A circular pigmented area called areola is present around it. So the mammary gland or breast which contains a multiporous tip that is called a nipple or a tit, tit madhya hum koi pariba. A circular pigmented area called areola is also present around it. Internally each breast consists of 15 to 25 lobes and open to the nipple. In each lobe, smaller units called lobules are present. Each lobule contains glandular alveoli that produce milk in a lactating woman or mother. There are about 2 hormones are responsible for synthesis and release of milk. One is prolactin hormone or lactogenic hormone or lactotropic hormone secreted from pituitary. Another is oxytocin hormone that is also secreted from pituitary gland. Prolactin hormone or lactogenic hormone stimulates the glandular elements of mammary glands for the synthesis of milk. Mainly, each lobule of breast or mammary gland that contains glandular alveoli where synthesis of milk. So, the prolactin hormone stimulates that particular area for synthesis of milk. But oxytocin hormone which stimulates the mammary glands or breasts along with the lactic ducts or lactiferous ducts for ejaculation of milk at the time of suckling by baby. Okay. So these are the parts of female reproductive system. Thank you.